Good afternoon. I'm County Executive Ken Jenkins, and today is Monday, June 16th, and certainly this is our weekly update. We're going to have our municipal partner, the mayor of the great village of Irvington, John Siegel, is going to be here with us. We're going to talk a little bit about early voting with our Deputy County Executive, Richard Wishney. We're certainly going to have some conversation from a visit that we're having today from the New York State Office of Addiction Services and Support, otherwise known as OASIS, when we have Associate Commissioner for Division of Criminal Justice Services, Rabia Gaynor, is going to be here with us, and then certainly Deputy Commissioner Joe Glazer is going to come up and give some words about a great program that we've been working together. Nori Padilla is here with us from our Department of Corrections, our first deputies here. We're going to have our Community Health Survey come up and have our first Deputy Commissioner, Renee Recchia, come up and speak with us. We're going to talk about the watch party that we have with the Nonas. That's just going to be with the Director of Program Development, Colette Phipps, is going to be here with us. And then we'll wrap all of that up with our Deputy County Executive talking about everything that's happening in the nationally accredited and award-winning park system. But we're going to start off on a somber note. Certainly, we're going to talk about the political violence in Minnesota that happened over the weekend. And certainly, I, along with all of our county residents and certainly all Americans, are outraged with the horrific and senseless assassination of State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband, and the brutal attack on State Senator John Hoffman and his wife at their homes in the evening or the early morning of Saturday morning. These acts of political violence are attack not only on these devoted public servants and their families, but also on the very foundation of our democracy. In moments like this, we are reminded on how critical it is to safeguard the stability, competence, and civility in public life. We must recommit ourselves to respectful dialogue, to protecting our democratic institutions, that's small d democratic, and to building a future grounded in decency and peace. There is no excuse for political violence. We certainly always have protests that are peaceful and be able to demonstrate as loudly as possible. We certainly had examples of that happening also on Saturday, on June 14th. But the reality is that there's so many people that are so tense at this particular point in time. It is more incumbent upon all of us to honor Representative Hortman's legacy by upholding the values in everything we do. And in Westchester, we always talk about that with stability, competence, and civility. And again, there is no place for political violence at all, period, full stop. And again, we know that everyone's hearts and prayers are with the Hortman families that left 2 children behind, and certainly the Hoffman folks that are coming out of surgery, and we're going to all wish them well in recovery. But again, I guess this time is really important for us to turn that volume down and always be able to stand up and express our views, but crossing that line into political violence is not acceptable. And we know we don't accept that here in Westchester or anywhere around our country, and I know all of us are continuing to pray for all of those families that have been directly impacted by that. With that, we're going to take a deep breath and then remind ourselves here in Westchester County, we have one of our village municipal partners that's going to be with us today. Certainly the village of Irvington. Irvington is a wonderful community nestled on the side of the Hudson River, right before the Mario M. Cuomo, it actually straddles the Mario M. Cuomo Bridge, and it is something that is a village that is so very, very cordial, and we have so many great things that are happening in the village of Irvington. And we're going to ask our good friend, Mayor John Siegel, to come up and give us everything that's happening in the great village of Irvington.
Thank you, Mr. County Executive. And thank you for the opportunity to talk about Irvington. And also, I don't want to let this moment pass without thanking you for your comments on political violence. We're all entitled to have our own opinions and deep differences, but there is no place for political violence in our discussions. So Irvington, let me just start with some business items and then some of the celebrations. First, we are, like most communities, coping with the loss of federal grants. Thankfully, the state has stepped up with some significant help. State grants have focused on our reforestry, transit-oriented development, and flood prevention infrastructure. We're also looking forward to working with Westchester County to install a number of electrical charging stations for electric vehicles. Irvington's also in the midst of a facilities planning process. We are looking out over the next 10, 15 years how to replace our departmental buildings. They're aging. Our fire department's a good example. They need more space. They need safety upgrades. It's critical for the community and also for planning for the future. We need to attract more volunteers. We may need to hire some professionals. And with regard to the volunteers, I want to thank the county because they have a number of programs that help retain firemen and members of the ambulance corps, including tuition reimbursement, free training, partial tax exemptions, and so on. The facilities planning process, because it may open up certain village parcels as we decide where to place our various municipal buildings, may give us the opportunity to add to workforce housing. And when we get to that stage, we will certainly work with the county to maximize the opportunities. Right now, we're at the stage of selecting a planning and architectural firm to create the plan and further engage the community. Next item up is we are nearing groundbreaking on a new Matheson Park stage. We have several parks right on the river, and this beautiful park will now have a place where musicians, the theater, our rec department, and our schools, in the case of graduation, have a place to perform and use. And it's an opportunity for people to gather, and we hope that later this year it'll be finished. Lastly, I'm engaged in something I'd rather not be doing, and that is we are hiring a replacement for our village administrator who's been there for over 30 years, Mr. Larry Schopfer, who will be retiring in October. He graciously let us know well in advance, and I want to thank him because he's still hard at work and continues to do everything that needs to get done, and I have every expectation that'll happen until his last day, if not beyond. So now for a few quick celebratory items. Our Pride celebration is ongoing. We have up and down Main Street, Pride flags are flying, and on June 21st at 4 p.m. there will be a group painting rainbow crosswalks near our library if anybody's interested in participating. We have Juneteenth events coming up, one on June 18th at the Irvington Theater at 7 p.m. with multiple vocal and drumming performances, including Resistance Revival Chorus, Ice Cold Experience, and Mashed Intellect. Our Bulldog celebration, for those who don't know, we have, I think it's for the past 3 years, maybe more, had local artists design bulldogs that line Main Street, and each one has a particular theme, each one has a particular sponsor, so it's kind of fun to follow that pathway up and down. So let me close by just encouraging everybody to come and visit. I got a few comments coming in here about one of the many things that Irvington offers, and that is good restaurants. So I encourage you to visit them, its businesses, our beautiful waterfront parks, and our Main Street Farmers Market on Sunday, and obviously the amazing bulldog sculptures. So thanks again to the county executive. I appreciate the time. Thank you.
All right, that was our good friend Mayor John Siegel from the village of Irvington, and his some tremendous work that's happening in Irvington. We certainly want to give a shout out to County Legislator David Imamura, who lives in Irvington. Yes. But there's so many great things that are happening in Irvington, including being the festivals that are coming up. You certainly can get that information off the village's website, the Village of Irvington again, whether it's a Juneteenth celebration, whether it is a Pride celebration, or whether it's just getting a chance to walk down on Main Street in the village of Irvington to be able to participate in one of the culinary delights that they have in Irvington. It is certainly a wonderful place to visit. Again, another one of our great river towns that are all along the Hudson River. But take advantage and certainly stop by and see some of the great things that are happening in the village of Irvington. And we really appreciate that the mayor coming by and letting us know what things are happening there. And we're going to continue to move forward on that. At this time, I'm going to ask our Deputy County Executive Richard Wishney to come up and give us a few bits of information about what's going on right now in early voting.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. As you should know, as good voting citizens here in Westchester County, there is a 2025 primary election that's going to be held on June 24th. And not everybody in the county will have this opportunity, but we want to point out where early voting for the primary election will be held. It's going to be a 9-day period where voters can vote in person before Election Day. Only registered voters enrolled in the following parties. On the Democratic side, County Legislative District 5, the Village of Hastings-on-Hudson, Town Village of Harrison, the City of Mount Vernon, City of White Plains, and the City of Yonkers. On the Republican side, the Town and Village of Harrison and the City of Yonkers. Conservative Party, Town Village of Harrison, and the working families in the City of Yonkers. Early voting will begin prior to the June 24th primary election. The early voting period will be from Saturday, June 14th, through Sunday, June 22nd. Thank you, Mr. County Executive.
Thank you, DCE Wishney. And again, it's certainly important for us to continue to let folks know that early voting happens 10 days before Election Day. So that started on Saturday, June 14th. The hours for Saturday and Sunday are 10 to 6. At the locations that are on the website. It's not all of the early voting locations. Obviously, the Deputy County Executive pointed out there's a few communities that have early voting that's going on. I think there's 10 early voting sites. You can actually vote in any one of those 10. So if you work in Harrison, but you live in Yonkers, you can go early vote in the village of Harrison to be able to cast your vote for the town and village or for City of Yonkers. So again, make sure you check the Board of Elections website. Saturday and Sunday is 10 to 6, so that was this past Saturday and Sunday, and this upcoming Saturday and Sunday. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is 8 to 4, and Tuesday and Thursday is 12 to 8. There is no excuse for not having an opportunity to make your voice heard in those communities in the primary elections, both in the Democratic, Republican, and Conservative, and working families all have primaries that are going on in various communities. And once again, it's not everyone across the county, so please pay attention to that. So don't feel like you didn't get a chance to participate in something. Again, it's only in those very few communities in Westchester County. At this time, we're going to ask our Associate Commissioner for the Division of Criminal Justice, Rabia Gaynor, to come up. Associate Commissioner is certainly in the New York State Office of Addiction Services and supports OASIS. She's going to be here with us today to discuss the county's unique Your Lives Forward program and her visit that she's had here. We really appreciate the Associate Commissioner and Commissioner coming down, certainly on behalf of Governor Kathy Hochul, who comes to Westchester a lot. We always appreciate everyone here that comes from New York State. Commissioner Gator.
Thank you, County Executive Jenkins. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. I thank DC Glazer for inviting me, FDC Padilla, and of course, County Executive Jenkins. I am coming from New York State OASIS Office of Addiction Services and Support, and we stand strong with the county, Westchester County. We believe in Westchester County and all that they're doing for the jails, for the courts, and just the county in general when it comes to SUD services and AUD services. And I should spell it out: substance use disorder, alcohol use disorder, as well as gambling services, right? Sometimes people gamble a little too much, right? So we want to just let you know that we're here to support you all on a continuous basis with funds, not just visit, but with actual funds for the county. And so we know that you're putting it to good use. At OASIS, we know that recovery, peer support, and reentry go hand in hand. The Lives Forward program, which is on the 4th cohort, I believe, is doing exceptionally well. I hope it stays. I hope it's here to stay. The participants are fabulous. The facilitators are extraordinary, and the whole program is just phenomenal. And I believe that people will have careers when they leave here. They will leave county jail with a new skill set and a career so that they can take care of themselves. I thank you all so very much, and thank you, County Executive Jenkins, for having me. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Commissioner.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And certainly, again, that was our associate commissioner. I think we just call commissioner instead of going. Oh no, she said, don't do that. Hey, get her in trouble. Rabia Gaynor from the Office of Addiction Support and Services, commonly known as OASIS, is what people utilize and see most of the time. At this time, we're going to ask the first deputy commissioner from our Department of Correction, Nori Padilla, to come up and give some words and let us know all about the program.
It's a pleasure to be here. Lives Forward is an excellent example of teamwork, of collaboration between two departments that are committed to making sure that individuals have an opportunity to start a journey, to give back to the community, and to be able to use their coping skills to help others and mentor others upon release from the facility. It's wonderful to see our commitment, to see ourselves working together to make sure that individuals are able to not only be trained, but be put in a pathway to a journey and a profession. Because of our hard work and our commitment, we're able to offer this opportunity for the individuals that are at the correctional facility. And not only that, but we also help them to transition into the community. Because of their training, they'll be in a better place. So thank you very much for your support.
Thanks, DC. And then we're going to ask from the partner organization, our Department of Community Mental Health, First Deputy Commissioner Joe Glazer, to come up and give some additional background into this very, very successful and awesome program.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I just want to take a moment and thank our colleagues from OASIS for coming down and joining us today. Lives Forward is a 1.5-year-old program now, which goes into our county jail and trains individuals who are residing there to be peers on both the mental health and substance use and addiction side, to work in the community to help others who, not unlike themselves, have addiction issues, mental health issues, and may live with criminal justice system experience. We have gone through so far, this is our 4th cohort. I believe last year we graduated 25 people from the program. And the goal is to really prepare people to go into the community and work in our systems of service to be able to better serve those who are seeking recovery. It is an amazing opportunity brought largely by collaboration and support from the state level to the county executive, who must be commended for his support and his foresight in helping us put programs like this together. It has been, for Westchester County, it is a unique opportunity. How do I know it's a unique opportunity? Because when we talked to the Associate Commissioner earlier today, Nori's first question to her was, isn't it true that we're the only county in the state doing this? And the answer is yes. So Westchester County is the only county in the state, and to some degree we believe possibly the only county in the nation that is training dual certification of peers in a county jail facility. It is part of our vision of the way forward for people with needs and people in recovery, and we're so happy that our friends and colleagues from OASIS came down and spent the day with us and took the opportunity to see what it really looks like on the ground, and we are deeply appreciative of that, so thank you.
Thank you, Joe. And again, the program, first let's continue to thank our friends from OASIS, to be with us today and being able to talk not only about bringing resources to the program, but seeing the program up close and personal to do that, and making sure that the resources are being spent appropriately on one level. And again, in a new created program, understanding that First Deputy Nori Padilla spent so much time making sure that those are things working with Barbara Lampert in our Department of Correction. And I keep reminding people it's the Department of Correction for a reason. It's not somebody that's just staying overnight and we're trying to not just hold them and then get them out. No, we're really trying to make sure that people are on a better life path when they walk out. Commissioner Joe Spano always utilizes those words that the residents, after they complete the service that they have to complete, that they'll be on a better life path. And because of the programs and creative programs like this, working with Department of Community Mental Health, as well as the Department of Correction, in direction from the state, from OASIS, to be able to continue to do these kind of programs that are not just unique, not just the creative, but again, making a difference for not only the people that are returning to community, but also for those folks that are in the community that hear someone that has experience, and whether that's experience as being a resident in the correction system or whether or not it's dealing with the other kind of mental health support services, whether it's addictions, whether it is alcoholism or substance misuse or anything like that, someone that's traveled that path. And all of us know that in any experience that we have, someone that has walked through the path that we're going through always gives us a better opportunity for success. And that's, at the end of the day, is what makes this program. And we really thank the state for our continued commitment and partnership, because again, it doesn't work without continuing efforts from everyone that's involved, but more importantly, all of those residents that are now completed their service and now they have opportunities to serve as peer mentors in jobs and being able to continue to move forward. Those kind of things make this successful, and that's what makes Westchester be such a great place to live, work, and play. But on top of that, for providing the services that are absolutely necessary to make sure that every resident in our county gets the support and service that they need. So we want to thank everyone once again for making sure that we have a great program like this Lives Forward program, and thanks for everyone that's been involved. At this time, we're going to ask a good friend of ours from the Department of Health, the First Deputy Commissioner, Renee Recchia, to come up and give us some words about a program, a comprehensive survey that we're having happen right now from the Department of Health to identify and address health concerns and create more positive outcomes. First up.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. So the New York State Department of Health requires all health departments and hospitals across the state to conduct a community health assessment. The assessment is actually done every 3 years, and it helps to identify health concerns facing our community. The assessment actually has two components. The first piece is actually a data analysis where we look at federal, state, and local data, such as like birth records, death outcomes, reasons for emergency room visits, hospitalizations, and then causes of death. So we look at sort of what are the prevailing issues that data is showing to us. In addition, what it also requires is that we really get input from our local residents. So we conduct a community survey with our residents, and it's really important that we get as many people to participate because we really value the voices of our residents. The survey is actually available on the Health Department's webpage at health.westchestergov.com. It's available in multiple languages. It's also available for downloading if you prefer to do it by hand. It's actually in English and Spanish in that version, and you can just mail it back to us, or you can drop it off at one of the Health Department offices. I'm also very excited to share that we are partnering with all of our local hospitals and the Greater New York Hospital Association. And so really what that does for us is it gives us a farther reach to promote the distribution of the survey. And the wonderful piece that Greater New York Hospital Association is doing for us is they're providing our local hospitals as well as the health department a weekly report in terms of how are we doing with our survey distribution. So it's telling us how many people have completed our survey, and it's also giving us demographic breakout. So it's showing us how many people from the various zip codes within our community have completed it. It gives us breakouts by age ranges as well as gender, et cetera. So it really can help us then go out and better target the distribution of our survey. So from the health department's perspective, we will be working also with a lot of our community partners, going to events and going on site to various locations so that we can help people who may need assistance completing the survey. But it's really imperative that as many people complete the survey as possible. everyone's voice matters, and we really do look forward to having the survey available to everyone. The survey will be out for 2 months and available through July 31st of this year. Once the survey is completed, we will then analyze the survey findings as well as the findings from all the actual data analysis I mentioned earlier. And then we are tasked with really trying to figure out what are the key health issues facing the community and putting together a plan and how we can improve the behaviors and outcomes of Westchester County residents. So please, I encourage you to take 10 minutes to complete the survey, encourage someone else as well to complete it, and thank you so much for this opportunity to share this important initiative by the Health Department. Thank you, Mr. Jenkins.
Thanks, First Step. And again, it's so important when we have the opportunity, and you have this opportunity to be able to express the concerns and things that you see and are necessary for our Department of Health. One of the components of this, as Renee was pointing out, Renee Recchia was pointing out, is that helps us to direct the services that we might have in a specific community at our community health center. So whether or not those are immunizations, or whether those are vaccinations, or whether those are things that we need. You know, every year we do this for our young folks that are going into school, to make sure that everyone has their shots up to date, to make sure that they have the most success. But also, there's other things that happen in the community, and again, your voice needs to be heard, and we're asking you to participate. And you can see that when we have creative opportunities, we take advantage of them, and your voice being heard on this is so essential. So take that opportunity right now, whether or not it's on health.westchestergov.com, download it or take it online. Again, multiple versions of language are available. I think the website actually lets you change to even more than we think from time to time to be able to do that. Thank you so much, Renee, for all of that information, again, for having an opportunity to have an effective path for a healthier Westchester. Next up, we're going to have a conversation with our Director of Program Development for the Senior Programs and Services, Colette Phipps, who's going to tell us a little bit about a Nona's watch party. So let us know who's a Nona, and not John Nona.
Thank you, County Executive Jenkins. And first, I always want to thank my esteemed Commissioner, May Carpenter, for giving me the opportunity to do the things that I do. So I'm just going to begin by saying what a livable community is. Westchester's a livable community. So we enhance the quality of life for people of all ages, and we enable our older adults to live in their homes for as long as possible. What we try to do, or we strive to do, is to add life to people's years through features such as a wide range of recreational, social, and cultural activities and educational programs. And that's the reason why I'm here today. Our Livable Communities Initiative is proud to partner with First Community on Stories from the Table, an impact campaign inspired by Nona's. I don't know if any of you have seen it. It's a wonderful movie. The joyful new comedy now streaming on Netflix. Based on a true story, Nona's is a love letter to grandmothers who raised us and the flavors that keep their memories alive. The film celebrates food, family, and the wisdom of our older adults with humor, heart, and lots of delicious dishes. As part of the campaign, Livable Communities is hosting 3 special Nona watch parties. And this is your invitation to gather, reflect, and share stories filled with conversation, laughter, and meaningful connection and food. So the Nona watch parties are as follows. On Monday, June 23rd, from noon to 2 at the Wartburg in Mount Vernon. And that contact is Rose Kappa Rotuno. Her telephone number is 914-513-5179. And then on Wednesday, June 25th, at Fordham University's Westchester campus. And for further information on that one, you can contact Joanne McMahon, and she's at 914-367-3364, or on Tuesday, July 8th, from 10:30 to 1:30 at the Eastchester Public Library. And that's being sponsored by the Eastchester Senior Center. Now, all three watch parties include a catered lunch featuring Italian food. So the Wartburg is doing spaghetti and meatballs, okay? All right, and it's also going to be followed by LED discussions on a series of topics: the joy of connecting generations, overcoming loneliness and celebrating immigration, stories through food, but the seating is limited, so people do need to make your reservations soon. This is a Livable Communities, a Vision for All Ages activity. And if you want to learn more about Livable Communities, please give me a call at 914-813-6441. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. They collect fibs for that information, certainly with Commissioner May Carpenter from our Department of Senior Programs and Services. And I know that all of you got hungry when you heard Nona's first and then said, oh, wait a second, there's food involved and it has to be Italian food. So we're looking forward to those particular opportunities. But more importantly, it's a great opportunity to hear some more information and see how to get things happening for you as a senior in our livable community here in Westchester County, to make sure that we're doing that. Right now, we're going to have our Deputy County Executive come back and let us know everything that's going on in our park system.
Thank you, sir. I already made reservations for us at that Nona event. That was an excellent program today. We had so much information, and I did want to mention, Mr. County Executive, that the governor has ordered flags at half-staff in memory of the victims of the violence. At this time, we do want to share with you some events at our Parks Department. We always talk about our nationally acclaimed award-winning park system. And Thursday, June 19th, from 9:30 to 11 a.m., we have a program called Pollinator Heroes. That's going to take place at Lasden Park in Katona. Families and friends of all ages are invited to a breakfast together while connecting with the pollinators who help produce it. After breakfast, you'll be able to take a guided tour of Nan's Secret Garden, where attendees will visit with our local pollinator friends and learn how to make seed bombs. There is a $10 charge for children and a $15 for adults, and I assume that takes care of the breakfast. Also on Thursday, June 19th, from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., there'll be free yoga classes at the Kensico Dam. You can indulge in this ancient practice that encompasses physical, mental, and spiritual disciplines to promote well-being and self-awareness. There's free admission and free parking. The program will also be held on June 26th, and again in July and August, and we'll continue to bring you up to date on the additional times. And then on Saturday, June 21st, from 9:30 to 10:30 at Croton Point Grasslands, the Restoration Tour. It'll be held, of course, at the Croton Point Park. Learn how a landfill became an important habitat for birds, pollinators, and native plants on this tour with Conservation Division staff. Meet at the RV parking area beneath the pines. Of course, inclement weather will cancel that event. Also on Saturday, June 21st, from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., the Undiscovered Realm Comic Con is going to be held at Westchester County Center. Enjoy celebrity guest artists, exhibitors, autographs, photo ops, panel screenings, gaming tournaments, kids zone, a lot of activities for families to enjoy, and that'll also be held on June 22nd. And then on Sunday, we're going to continue our Bronx River Parkway Bicycle Sunday, and as we've mentioned numerous times before, it's a 13-mile plus loop from Westchester County Center, south to Scarsdale. In Yonkers, it's closed to cars, open to non-motorized bicyclists, scooters, and inline skaters. A great opportunity families to get out and enjoy their exercise and in a safe way. And then also on June 29th, that program will continue. And again, we'll continue to bring you up to date in the future with additional Parkway events. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Deputy County Executive Richard Whitney, and certainly there's a lot of things happening here in Westchester County. Today we had a chock full of information media session on this briefing for this Monday. Certainly starting out with our commissioner, first talking about early voting and make sure that if you're in one of those communities, you continue with early voting. Starting with our village mayor from Irvington, John Siegel, and we always appreciate him and letting us know everything that's happening here in the village of Irvington, another one of our wonderful Hudson Valley River communities that continues to do all the things and get to see the bridge from either direction, by the way, right? And see the colors and the different changes that the state has happening. We talked a minute with our Associate Commissioner for DCJS, who is from our office, or from Oasis. We'll not go through the whole thing again, right? Commissioner Rabia Gaynor was here with us to be able to talk through so many of the things that are happening. First Deputy Commissioner from the Department of Correction, Nori Padilla, was here with First Deputy Commissioner from our Department of Community and Mental Health, talking about our Lives Forward program that's working out of the Department of Correction, and talked about all the great things that are happening there. We talked with Renee Recchia, our First Deputy Commissioner from our Department of Health. We have a First Deputy Commissioner meeting today, right? So everyone being here with us today, but she was talking about our community health survey that it's going to get for the next 2 months to get a comprehensive study from county residents. And Richard Whitney mentioned this last week for our nationally accredited award-winning park system at Croton Point Park. We had the Hudson River Music Festival, and the Department of Health was there gathering information from some of the 3,000 attendees that came over for Pete's Sake, which was the old Clearwater Music Festival, but there was just a bunch of folks out there having a great time. And again, we had so many departments, including our Department of Health, out there to do that. We had Colette Phillips come from the Department of Senior Programs and Services. Our Director of Program Development, Colette Phipps, was here to talk about the Nona's watch parties that are happening. So if you're not streaming on Netflix, make sure you still come out and have an opportunity to come out to one of the 3 watch parties that are there. Get your Italian eat on, and it will be something that's a great opportunity for all of us. And again, we wanted to end today the way that we began, and reminding everyone that there's no excuse, there's no tolerance, and this should not ever happen in our peaceful protest and being able to make your voice heard and passionately talking about whatever issues that may face in front of you. But it's a senseless and horrific assassination of a state senator who was the former leader of their version of our assembly in New York State in their house, and the shooting of a senator. There is no excuse at all for political violence. And, again, passionate discussion. We're all passionate about the discussions right now. But again, right now, we need for folks to understand the leadership that we need from everyone right now is to tone some of that down, to be able to have the political discussions without tripping over into violence. And again, it is not an excuse at all. And the Deputy County Executive reminded us that state flags have been ordered at half-staff by Governor Kathy Hochul, and we will also have that happening here in Westchester County. That the flags are at half-staff after the order from Governor Hochul to do that and recognize the senseless loss of 2 folks that did nothing other than put political wool and work so hard as they could for the public out there in Minnesota. So again, we want to continue to remind everyone that is not an acceptable thing at all for political violence. So again, make sure your voice is heard, but there's that line, and do not cross that. Again, I'm Ken Jenkins, County Executive. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back to you if we have additional information to bring back to you. Again, final reminder, again, I've heard that we were number 2 in the state as counties, the great counties along the state of New York. We're number 2. We're always thinking about being Westchester, so we'll continue to work hard on being number 1. I'm not sure we're going to be able to get there because I think the reason we're not number 1 is because we have so high home values here in Westchester County, which brought us down a little plus. But we had an A+, that's great. Number 2 in the state, that's great as well. Again, keep being great here in Westchester. And again, we want to make sure that remember and keep in our prayers, our thoughts and prayers, those 2 folks that were 4 people shot, 2 assassinated, and the other 2 that are recovering right now in the hospital in Minnesota. So with that, I'm Ken Jenkins. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.